Shut the fuck.
DDP Diamond Dallas Page. And you, monkey, you're listening to the Potsy and Tino show. And that's not a bad thing, monkey. That's a good thing. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, shut up, Dalton Castle. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dog Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Pochak. That's right, the Potsy and Tino show. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for
99
cents. And and I also want to point out, we want to thank both Diamond Dallas Page and apparently Dalton Castle right there for
Dalton said, wait for me.
for our music and introduction. Tino, we always start the show with a section called What's Up With You? And you know, a lot's been going on with pro wrestling, but I really want to know what's up with you.
Let's see, not a whole lot. I'm trying an experiment. I was telling Nicole, I'm trying to let my beard grow in, because so I've never been able to grow facial hair. It always comes in spotchy, and so what happens is when it starts coming in, I'm not patient. I get pissed off and I just shave it off. Nicole's like, "Be patient, just let it go and see what it does." So this is probably about a week or so, a little over a week. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen to it. What did you do that for?
Well, I was trying to actually put it on you.
Oh, so it's been. I'm like, you took me off the screen, you bastard.
I know, right? Hold on. Let me take me off the screen.
I don't think, can you do? Oh yeah. So you can't really tell, but yeah. So I'm gonna try to let it grow, and that's about it. That's it. The experiment's going on. I'm over. I was with you last week, but getting stronger from the COVID. I'm not as tired as I was. I think last week I wasn't negative. I mean, I wasn't positive anymore, but you still had the whole I'm sleepy, I'm tired. So I got to set up. CVS sent me. You can make an appointment to do your booster shot for the COVID, which I'm gonna do, and also my flu shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock them bitches out. Matthew has a game in Charlotte on Saturday, which I don't get to go to because because his game starts at like 2 in Charlotte, and they have to leave early. So and they're probably gonna stay the night there with her cousins. What the fuck is this thumbs up shit? Where'd that come from? So
new happening?
I updated the iOS on this, and it's been like I'll be talking on a Zoom call, and it'll get like balloons going, like colorful, like birthday balloons. So I don't know if I don't know what's causing it, but anyway. So they're going to Charlotte, so they may be, and then she's thinking about like after the game they're gonna stay with her cousins, and they might be going to Scarowin Saturday and then come back Sunday. I'm like, okay, that'd be cool.
Scarowinds.
Mm-hmm.
Now go ahead and let people on the other side of the country know what that means.
What's up, Barrett? So it's a place called Carowinds here. It's an amusement park. It's kind of like a Six Flags or King's Dominion, but it's Carowinds, and it's cool because I like going to Carowinds because it's right on the North Carolina and South Carolina border. So there's actually a place in Carowinds. There's a line going down, and it says North Carolina and South Carolina. So we used to go North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina, doing that. But so in October, Carowinds at night, I think it starts at 7, turns into Scarowinds, which just means they have the Halloween. It's a Halloween themed stuff going on at Carowinds during October during the night, and so that's where they're going to go to.
Now I want to sit there and say we're sorry to hear that Chris Barrett actually tore his rotator cuff. Terrible injury. like in baseball, that typically means that you need the Tommy John surgery. So, Chris Barrett, was this during a match?
I messed up. I messed up.
On while we wait for his response.
Yeah, I messed up my rotator cuff too, and it was stupid. It's like lifting a speaker on a stand, just doing this number. And luckily I didn't have to have surgery. They hit me with the shot, the cortisone shots, and when that, which helped it get better. So that rotator, if it's surgery, man, I feel for you because I know people who had to help in the movie Grandma's Couch. You're gonna have to have surgery. So that's pretty much all my excitement for this week. So I'll be Bachelor Saturday, so I'm debating on maybe coming to hang out with you. If you're going to Ruckus to watch pay-per-view, I'll watch it from home. But if you're gonna stay at the house, then maybe I'll come over and we'll watch it.
So,
Because I can't stand doing it Ruckus.
So Sunday, the day after you're talking about, my family does the Walk for Hope, right?
Or by is that where you're talking about over by Angus Barn? We got to walk up the hill that you always cuss about.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. Last week I went to a hockey game. Okay, first preseason hockey game for the
Oh,
Carolina.
I'm going again tomorrow. Sorry, go ahead.
Talk about what you're about to, but I gotta get this out.
Okay.
And somehow, with where I parked, I had to walk uphill both fucking ways. Both fucking ways. So, like, to the actual hockey complex, I had to walk uphill both ways, right? On the way back, I also had to walk uphill both fucking ways. Why is Raleigh the only city in America where everywhere you go, you have to go both ways? And here's why I say this.
How do you walk up both ways?
Because you have to go down, then up, and then you come down, then up.
Oh, okay.
So last night, a friend of mine named Jem sits there and says, "Hey, let's go sing karaoke at a place called Tin Roof." I'm like, I don't really know if I want to go downtown Raleigh, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Sure. Let's go. We'll go down there. We'll sing a song or two, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get to sing, so I'm never going back because like that pissed me off. I was there for like 3.5 hours and didn't.
Was it busy? And did you get there late? You know how the rotation goes to karaoke. I used to work karaoke, so I feel their pain. I understand it.
So I wasn't so we got there early. We put in a song. We knew we weren't going to get to sing at that point, so we went to another bar.
What if they called you while you were gone?
So we came back and they said they didn't. Right? So we got back. They said they didn't call us yet. And then I never got to sing. So I really think it became something where the guy was like, well, I don't like that song, so I'm not going to put it in.
That's not how that goes, dude. They probably had a long line.
Well,
You didn't get to be the center of attention and show off, and now you're mad. That's what that is.
hold on.
That's what that is. I know you, Rob.
Hold on, because my friend Jem actually went up to the DJ and said, hey, we put in our songs, blah, 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 this amount of time ago. And he goes, well, I'll put one of those in.
Because he might have had a full rotation.
But
listen, I understand. So were it both of you at the same time, or were they separate? Because I can see what he's talking about there. If you're both up there at the same time and he puts your songs in back to back, you get to sing twice now, where one person might not have got to. You see that?
So it was a single person song each time.
Okay, all right.
But on top of that, when he walked up there and talked them into it, they put her song in, and she actually had me put my song in right before hers. Which means if she sat there and said, "Hey, my friend and I put our songs in, blah blah blah," it should have been, "Hey, here's his song, then here's my song, whatever." For whatever reason, and again, just makes me think I'm not gonna go there again, right? Because you're there for 3.5 hours. I don't care how long the rotation is. You should get to sing once. Tell me I'm wrong.
If everybody has a chance to sing.
And I don't know because, like, I wasn't paying attention to whether or not someone sang twice or anything like that. Like the you know what? Honestly, not my favorite place to go sing anyway.
I never even heard of that place.
Tin Roof literally is like 2 blocks down from Raleigh Beer Garden. Super loud, super boom, 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 that kind of place. And I'm like, I'm going home. Like that kind of place. Anyways, Tino, right before the show went on the air, I sent you something. Did you
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. That was kind of cool looking.
kind of cool looking?
I liked it.
Or one of the most amazing pieces of artwork you've ever seen? Be-
You're pushing it there. It's yeah, not it's not the best artwork I've ever seen.
but one of the best pieces of like comic book artwork you've ever seen.
Hmm.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
So we haven't told the world about this yet, but it is by Owen, who is the original Immortal artist, right? And
Right.
and he actually said, "Hey, I really want to be a part of some of the projects you have coming up." So he asked to actually do a piece for Immortal, which we haven't announced a date yet for. But he also said, "When do you need something for Zor?" So this past week, I was like, I messaged him on like Tuesday, and I said, "Hey, Owen, uh, I know that you messaged or mentioned that you wanted to do a piece for Zor. Is it possible that you could get it in by like tomorrow? Because we're going to solicitation with it." And Owens is there, and he's like, he replies back, he's like, "Oh shit, uh, I got really busy with like day job stuff. Can I turn it in tonight?" And I was like, "Absolutely. Like, if you turn it in today, we'll put it in there. But like only if you like really really wanna." And so, anyways, he turns it in, and he sent me that piece of artwork that you saw, Tino.
Okay.
And I saw it at like 4 o'clock in the morning because it woke me up because I got the bling, and then I saw the artwork, and I'm like, "Holy fuck!" Was literally my impression, right?
Right.
And I immediately, like, half asleep, half awake, whatever, sent him a message that said, "I feel really bad saying this, but I really want to beg you to do covers for the next 2 issues of this book because holy shit, that looks amazing." And the next morning, I got a message back from him that said, "Hey, do me a favor. Just let me know when you guys are getting ready to, like what your deadlines are for having to have the stuff in, because I really want to draw these characters again." And that made me think, oh shit, we might get multiple covers from Owen on this book.
Nice.
Well, I will confirm on our show right now that Owen cover that you got to see. Should I show it?
I didn't know. I didn't know if you can you.
I I
You know
co
what?
I co-own the property.
No, I know you don't like showing stuff before.
Well, not when I'm at the spot where like people are like, oh well, this might be this or this might be whatever, but here.
I like it.
But I want to let everybody on the show right now know that we are doing something special with that cover. Okay.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is this, is that it's going to be offered to order the same way that every other cover is available to offer and order from Diamond Distribution.
Okay.
So Diamond will get their cut, whatever. But the point of it is that every dollar that we make off of that cover is going to be distributed to a children's charity for cancer research.
Hmm. Okay.
So if a copy of that book is ordered, I won't earn a single penny.
Have you figured out which? I know you were talking last week. You didn't. You weren't sure which uh organ or which charity. Remember we were talking about Jude's and Make a Wish. We remember we were talking about all that.
So we have proposed it to St. Jude. If they don't approve it, we will still consider, say that this is all going to a children's cancer charity. The whole point that I want to make here is this, is that every dollar from that version of the book will go to a charity. None of it will go to us after the cost of the book. So the book being made, obviously that has to go part of it. But the big thing that I want really known to everybody else out there is this. And we really haven't talked about it yet, and we're going to really push this, is that it will go like St. Jude. If St. Jude sits there and says that they want it, I know that all the money that ever gets put to St. Jude goes directly to trying to help the kids get help, right? If for any reason they say, hey, we're not willing to take that, we may still offer the money directly to St. Jude because you can just make a donation. But I want it to go to something specific that does not go to something like the lawyer fees.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate like Susan G. Komen. Everybody out there is like, oh, this is such a great thing for breast cancer awareness and whatever. Very little of the money that actually gets donated to Susan G. Komen Fund goes directly to trying to help women beat breast cancer. Most of it goes to the legal fees. And because of that, I do not buy into that fund. I don't like it. I don't think that all these major companies like NFL, WWE, whatever, I don't buy into their building that up. I just don't. So anything, and Tino, you know me. Like, if I've done a signing at a comic book shop, if I've done uh, an appearance at a comic book convention, every time I do it, a portion of the money that I make goes to charity.
Hmm.
But it all goes to charities that do not go to the legal fund.
Use soap and hot water. Sorry.
No, use that soap and hot water.
No, he's washing dishes. I don't use soap and hot water.
But none of the stuff.
No,
What,
that was still going, dude. It doesn't matter. You didn't hear it going. Sorry.
I was about to mute you because I saw you turn your head, and I was like, "Oh, he's about to get mad."
I'm gonna mute myself. You keep talking. Teenagers.
Chris Barrett, no, it's not that I didn't get to sing my Rod Stewart song, but I was only gonna sing Weezer. It's something I normally don't sing, by the way, but it was kind of like a joke song that I was gonna sing. But anyways, it's important to me to give money back to charities because I feel like when I'm working on these books, especially when I'm working on these like children's books, like the all ages stuff, that something should be given back. And I really want comic book shops to understand that I'm trying to do more than just write a really good fucking story. Because let's be real, Tino, you've read the first issue of Thor. I know Joe Lowe actually got to see the same cover that you got to see.
This one you just sent me?
Yes. And everybody that has both read the book and seen that cover has been like, oh shit.
It's gonna be awesome.
This is fucking cool, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
But me, I know how, and here's the statement: how little money there is in comics. Okay, this is why I'm writing a book on the side that's called "Are You Sure You Want to Write Comics? Are you sure you want to make comics?" Right. At the same time, I know how good this book is, so I want to do everything I can to get comic book shops to buy this book. Right? So getting comic shops to buy a book because I am willing to give every dollar I make off that version of the book to charity, I'm hoping means that the book is going to sell better.
Yes.
And I really do hope that that means that those comic book shops will take it the same way that I do, which is he's putting it on the line here. He's betting everything and giving it all away. And that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm amazed, and I'll flat out say this, dude. And I know that we got to get into wrestling, but I will flat out say that I am amazed that both Michael, the artist of the book, and my publisher, Keen Spot, have both agreed to do this.
Why?
Why am I amazed that they're willing to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Michael's like me. Let's get it in as many hands as possible, right? Keen Spot is like, let's get in as many hands as possible. Let's make as much money as possible.
It's a business.
It's a business. And unfortunately, the comic book business is very difficult to make money in right now. So saying we're willing to take a loss overall because we want to give money to charity, is kind of out there, man. It's not what you hear. It's not what anybody talks about. It's not what any comic book company out there does. Like, only once have I heard of any single person in comic books doing this. And that wasn't the reason why I did it. I literally did it because I was like, every time I do a comic book signing, every time I go to a shop or whatever, I sit there and say, hey, give this money to charity. So why not actually try to get my book in more hands while also sitting there saying, let's give more money to charity? And I'm hoping, I hope to God that comic book shops, because they still have to put the effort into it, right? They still have to buy it. They still have to put their own money into buying that copy of the comic for me to sit there and say, everything I made off of what you just did is going to charity. I would love if those same comic book shops sat there and said, everything we make off of this, we will give to charity. But I can't expect that. I can only do what I can do.
I mean, no, what if they, even if they said everything we make, we will match and send that to charity?
I mean, that would be amazing.
So, well, I guess they wouldn't really make money then. Like if they made 700 and they matched 700 and sent that 700, they're really sending off the 700 they made, which,
So,
yeah.
so here's what I can say that may help comic book shops. Okay. Now, granted, this book is coming out February, so we still got 4 months, right? It literally went to Diamond Distribution this week, so that way, 4 months from now, so 2 months from now, people will be able to order it all the way up to like 3 weeks before the book comes out in February. What I can say is this, is that every shop that orders 5 copies of this book, doesn't matter what cover they order, right? Could be Michael's cover, could be my cover, could be the special cover that I showed you that we are not able to show here tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, because that would be awesome if you could.
Well, I kind of showed it, but you know what I mean. You know what? Here, we'll show it again.
Like it.
For every 5 copies your comic book shop orders, they will get 1 copy of this book without the logos. They call it a virgin variant. Okay.
Okay.
So it'll be a even more special version of it. And the reason why is because that allows the comic shop to mark that version, which is the blank, no logos or whatever. So you just see the entire piece of art, right?
I'm laughing because I'm still waiting on this one. And I ordered it back in March of 2021, and now they're saying I will get it
Do me
July
a favor.
23rd.
Do me a favor. Don't bring that up again, because
Every once in a while, I can like it.
well, I'll tell you what. Only bring that up personally because I have no control.
I know you have no control over it. It just makes me laugh that
It
you
does,
know it.
Tino, it breaks my heart.
I don't know if I really wanted that, but I had Rob give me a copy of it.
I
Now
mean,
just
but there isn't copies of it. It hasn't been made. And the reason why it hasn't been made is because
no, it hasn't been made at all. I thought that people could still get it from the.
no,
Oh, my bad.
the printers have not made the book because they keep claiming that there's not enough paper to make the book.
But Marvel gets their new comic books out all the God bless it.
Marvel's a lot bigger than a little company called Keen Spot.
It's still not. It's still not fair.
It's not fair, and you're absolutely right. But I'm not, dude.
I don't hold it against you. You know that.
The thing is that I had an agreement to buy 1,000 copies of that book.
1,000 copies.
And that book didn't get made.
That's not your fault, though, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
But I want, and I still want, to be able to bring those 1,000 copies to every time I do a signing, and I haven't been able to. And I'm going to tell you right now, like I said, it breaks my heart.
Now, is there a way
No,
you can't get it made any other way?
not currently. Publishing rights are through through KeenSpot. KeenSpot says they can't get it made, so the book can't come out. It's part of the reason why we did the the anniversary edition of the first two issues was specifically because we'd never done those issues as dyslexia friendly. So we put that out as the anniversary edition. But that still means that issue 3, 4, and 5, well, issues 3 and 4, haven't been done that way.
Speaking of, I met somebody who's like, I was talking to somebody, they were talking about comics, and I was like, yeah, that's my best friend made. He writes comics and draws comics, and they're like, Which ones? I'm like, oh, Junior High Horrors. Oh, that's Potsy. I love that guy. I have all of them. Do you think you can get him to autograph them for me? I don't know if he's blowing smoke. I'm like, yeah, you let me. Yeah, you got all of them, and you bring them. I'll see if I can get him to autograph.
I'll be in Fayetteville next weekend. In fact, let's get back on top. Fayetteville Comic Con, I will be there the 13th, 14th, 15th. So 14th and 15th, I will be in Fayetteville.
Next week, you always go when I got something to fucking do.
I can't help it, dude. I go.
I know. I know.
Things.
I know.
I'm
in Hickory that weekend.
I will also be at NC Comic Con, The Return, their 10th anniversary show.
When is that?
November 4th and 5th, I believe. Might be 3rd and 4th, whatever the Saturday, Sunday is.
3rd and 4th. No, Saturday, Sunday is the 4th and 5th.
So right down the road from where I live. I mean, literally 10 minutes down the road.
Where's that one at?
The Durham Armory and Durham Convention Center.
Oh, where we went. That's right. You said where we went and saw NXT.
Exactly. And New Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be there that weekend as well. After that, I don't have anything planned, but yeah, so lots of cool stuff going on in terms of the actual comics. So today I sent in something to Fayetteville Comic Con, just so everybody knows, for the 14th and 15th. Yeah, because that's Saturday, Sunday. 13th, Friday the 13th is in October.
Oh,
how crazy is that shit, right? So I'll be in Fayetteville
on October the 13th, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. But the 14th and 15th, anybody that buys the comic book creator package to get into the show, I don't know what it costs or anything else. There will be a specialty print that I created that you can come over to my table and get signed by me while I'm there. So I want to let everybody know about that because I think it's really cool. Tino, I really don't have anything else to talk about.
You remind me, Durham, I'm going to the Hurricanes game tomorrow. My work got 20 tickets for, for employees, and we get a box.
Oh, you have like oh.
So I'm not sure. So when you
What
get a
we
box
tried
today,
into when we were in Greensboro watching WWE
yeah.
because people also had our seats.
So I don't know if they're gonna feed us in the box. I don't know if we got that kind of box.
Normally, that's what happens in the box. They normally have somebody bring in hot dogs or whatever, and whatever like the normal fare of food for that night is, they will bring it into the box.
I got to figure it out because I got to figure that out.
Yes, you do.
So we don't have to eat. So we don't have to eat before we go.
But Tino, you normally like to actually. I want to talk about one other thing. We talked a little bit about it off air yesterday. You got all I hate you talking about busted open, blah blah blah
Well,
bullshit.
because you like everything. You like if they set it on busted open, that's the end all be all.
Well, they
And I,
are the
and
number one.
and I said, but what I said was just because you, and I'll say what I told you. I said just because you bow down to the altar, busted open doesn't mean everybody bows down. And I really still don't think that really has. They might have been aware, but I don't think that has anything to do with it.
So both you and I really like the show Heels.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off about that. I am salty about that.
The show Heels was canceled by Stars last week during both the writer and Screen Actors Guild strikes, right? The writer's strike has since ended. There is a good rumor that tomorrow, I know that the Screen Actors Guild will actually be having another meeting with who they go up against.
Good, because I'm ready for my shows to come back.
However, I have it under pretty good authority that the Screen Actors are ready to sign whatever the new agreement is. And I say that because, well, when you start working with people that are actually in those kind of guilds, you start hearing things about the guilds, right? So I would state that right now I have it under pretty good authority that tomorrow the Screen Actors Guild should be no longer on strike. Don't know if that's a fact. They may not like something that gets added, whatever the case, whatever. However, at the same time, uh, the wrestling show Heels on Stars, which was canceled last week, while the Screen Actors Guild was still on strike. So none of the actors could actually speak on it.
I wouldn't be surprised if, because of Stephen Amell's relationship with WWE and Cody Rhodes, if they don't go to Peacock.
So I started talking about that today. And first, I want to go ahead and point out when the show that you don't like had found out that it was canceled, started a cancel stars hashtag. By the way, I think that a hashtag that said cancel stars was probably a harsh way to go and should have been a save heels
Yes.
tag.
Yes.
Because if it had been a save heels hashtag, there's a very good possibility that the current holders of the show would have listened and said, you know what? We're willing to give it one more season. But, and for those that didn't listen, didn't watch, whatever, Busted Open had Mike O'Malley, who a lot of people might remember from his old ESPN commercials as the Rick. You remember him. He also had a show on CBS at one point. I don't remember what it was called. I think it had David Spade in it. I could be wrong.
I'll check it out.
But he was Charlie Gully on the show, on Heels. He was the showrunner. He was an episode writer. But he's part of the Screen Actors Guild, so he couldn't talk about the show.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear, exactly. The show gets canceled. Busted Open starts a worldwide trend. Okay? Tino, I know that you don't really buy into some of this stuff some of the time. But Mike O'Malley went on the show, and when he was asked by Mickie James, who was one of the hosts of the show, she said, "Hey, is it possible that the Save Heels thing actually gets stars to pick it back up?" And this is where I thought it was important, was that Mike O'Malley sat there and said, "Oh, no, no, no. They are done with the show at this point."
I'm looking at his stuff on
IMDb.
that. I forgot he played on Glee. He played the dude's dad. I forgot about that. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It just made me laugh. He's
He's
been on a lot of shit you wouldn't recognize.
He's a very recognizable face that when you see him, you go, "Where do I remember him from?"
Yes, and that's the whole time I was watching Heels, that's what it was. And now that I said he was on Glee. He played the dad on Glee.
But the first place you remember him from was as the Rick,
Yes.
ESPN commercials,
Yes.
where he played a Boston fan, and he is a Boston fan. He even says that in the interview with Busted Open. Anyways,
Sorry.
he flat out says Stars was an excellent partner. They almost never said anything about the scripts, never said anything like what they were trying to do, and just were flush with money to make the episodes happen. So he wasn't happy that Busted Open actually came out and said cancel Stars. He said, "I don't know why you guys didn't just come out and say Save Heels." Right?
Right.
So when Mickie James asked, "Well, is it possible that Stars would pick it back up?" He said, "Oh, no, 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 no." he said, the good news is that we're represented by the same people that represented Cobra Kai when Cobra Kai moved from YouTube Red over to Netflix. He said, but unfortunately, no. Stars is completely aware of what the Busted Open movement did, and because of that, they have pretty much gone on record as to saying we are completely done with this program.
So they pissed him off.
And Tino, I know that you were using my Stars to watch the show, and I told you I'm going to cancel because that show just got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
But you finished watching it.
Thank God.
And 3 days later, what happened?
They canceled it.
Well, they didn't just cancel it.
They said they wasn't coming back.
And what did Stars do with the actual show?
Oh, they took it off completely, which I don't get.
It's gone. It is no longer available on their platform.
So even if our viewers or anybody wants to go back and watch it, they can't.
You can't sign up for Stars right now and watch it.
No. I'm talking about it's not anywhere else. Like I said, they can't.
It's gone. It's gone. It is not available on any other streaming platform or anything. Right now, Heels, which, by the way, that episode that they did.
Which one?
Where Tom and Bill had their long conversation. I sent you a message at like 1:30 in the morning, knowing you were asleep, and I apologize for that. But knowing you were asleep,
You didn't give a damn.
I didn't, because I was crying. I literally had tears coming down from my eyes because that episode rocked me. And our Facebook group, some of the people are like, I really liked season 1. Season 2 wasn't as good. I'm going to tell you, that episode.
And the last one.
The last one left it at such a cliffhanger that I was pissed off.
But it was still a good episode.
It was a good episode. But I also thought there were 2 more episodes because I was like, how are they only doing 8 episodes? Like shouldn't this at least be 10 episodes? And no, those motherfuckers only did 8 episodes. And I was like, God damn you, right? Especially since Stephen Amell just came from Arrow, where he was doing 22 to 24 episodes a season. But that episode where they talked about his dad who committed suicide, and that was like in the very first episode they mentioned that, right? But before he committed suicide, he actually talked to his longtime friend who literally sat there and said, Tom, you owe me $400,000. We are not friends. The fact that I am sitting here having dinner with you and paying for it right now shows you exactly how good of an actor I am, because there is no reason why I should be sitting here doing this with you. And at the same time, the thing that blew me away by that was that Tom still took that script and rewrote it so that Bill would actually be everything that he knew he could be. And when Bill actually read that script in front of everybody, and they're like, oh shit, this guy knows how to act. And after he got done doing that, Bill gets the phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I lost it, man. Like I'm losing it right now. And knowing that I can't go back and watch that episode right after we get off the air is killing me. Because I would want everybody who's watching the show or who watches the show to go on to Stars and actually watch it. And they can't. Because that was one of the most perfect episodes of television I think I've ever watched.
Wow.
And dude, you know how much TV I watch.
Yeah.
Anyways. Ready to talk about some wrestling?
Yeah. How long we been? About 50, almost an hour in. So let's do it.
I literally think we can get through all this faster than normal.
Yes.
Who you want to talk about first?
Let's do. We did WWE last week, so let's do AEW this week.
Well, is there? You know what? We probably have to talk about this specifically first.
The fuck?
Yeah.
It's like a mosquito bite or something. I just realized it was. Sorry. The AEW pay-per-view. I did not watch. Did you?
No, but I saw enough.
I didn't. I hadn't seen any of it. When I read that MJF beat Aussie Open by himself, I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, hold on. I want to talk about that because I sent you a TikTok.
Yes.
Of his interview afterwards. And I have to say that it was probably the most professional.
He wasn't in character. You know, MJF
was in character. That's what made it so special is the fact that him making the wrestling industry different flavors of ice cream. Allowed him to keep it in character for the MJF character.
And putting people over there. That's not MJF. MJF's usually shitting on people and, talking shit to people. And that's That's why I didn't think it. But he still, as a face, he was still doing that some.
Come on, man. What is he now? He's a baby.
All right, all right.
And he is the biggest baby they have. But him, so folks, what we're talking about right here is MJF defended the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships at the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view against Aussie Open. And
No, it wasn't Aussie Open. I'm sorry.
it was
I thought Aussie Open went against FTR.
no, I thought it was Aussie Open.
No, he defended again. It wasn't Aussie Open.
Whoever it was, there was a big dude.
Yeah.
The whole time during the match, MJF kept trying to body slam him. And the crowd kept getting bigger and bigger for the body slam, and he could never actually pull it off. I swear it was Aussie Open.
I'm looking.
But at the end of the match, they sold it so well that MJF was able to body slam the bigger member of the other team while in a 1-on-2 match, right? And during this whole thing, this whole
Yeah, FTR was Aussie Open. I'm looking. I'm trying to find.
who was it then?
Keep talking. I'm looking.
Oh, it was TMDK or whatever this shit is. Like I don't know what their name is, but anyway, there's a big dude, and the whole match, Max.
It was the Righteous.
What the fuck is the Righteous?
They were from It was Vincent and Dutch. They were from ROH. They used to be with the Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he goes into the match all by himself, and the whole time, every time he goes to body slam the guy, he can't do it. And it's 2-on-1, so they're beating him down. Finally, at the end of the match, he body slams the dude, and he falls down at the same time. And it's incredible to watch because the entire crowd explodes from this body slam, like Hogan and Andre, except he can't do anything about it. You know, Hogan won the match after the body slam. MJF didn't. But after the match, when they had the scrum, MJF sits there and is like, he gets asked a question, and this is where I think that it's important, you know. He gets asked about this moment, and he gets asked, so you were in this gimmick match. And he sits there and he goes, hold on a second. I just want to say right now, I want to say it really quickly. I want to, and of course it took him 5 minutes, right? But he's like, I want to say it really quickly. This was not a gimmick match. This was a match where it was me against 2 opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I did was fighting up to my opponents. Did I win? Yes. Should I have won? I don't know. I won the match. Here's the fact. The fact is that you call it a gimmick match, but I call matches gimmick matches when people have to do the same kind of thing that Darby Allin did. And he wasn't even downplaying what Darby Allin did. He actually said that was an incredible piece of magic that I would never do.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but I grew up watching people be able to sit there and sell when the fist hit them. And I want more and more people, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, I'm not directly quoting, but he was like, so I want it to be, because my flavor of ice cream is to be able to grab my fist and hit the guy and have the crowd cheer. And not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to do that. My flavor of ice cream is not sitting there and jumping over into a barbed wire pit and doing all that. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't think I need to do that. And if I get the crowd to sit there and cheer me sitting there body slamming a guy, then I did my job. And Tony Khan's sitting right next to him. And Tony Khan's just sitting there like, basically giving the same exact impression that he gave when CM Punk bitch talked the Young Bucks, right? Like Tony Khan was like, but MJF gave probably the best explanation of pro wrestling and their company-wide pro wrestling picture over what anybody else has ever tried to say about what they do. It's different than Chris Jericho's ice cream flavor. My ice cream flavor is different than Kenny Omega. My ice cream flavor is different than the Big Bucks. And he nailed it. And I don't care what anybody says, Tino. Like, you can argue it with me. I don't think you will. But that statement fucking blew me away. And it leads me to believe that under no circumstance currently is MJF signing with another company.
No, it's not the War 24 yet, so it's still 23.
Sure.
There's a couple of matches on there I really don't give a shit about, but there is one that I do want to comment on.
Well, did you have anything that you wanted to state about what I just said?
No, I agree with what you said.
Okay.
So we had a 4-way tag team match for the future AEW World Tag Team Championships. We had the Bucks, the Guns, the Lucha Bros, Hook and Orange Cassidy. What are you doing? And,
I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't watch this match. How do you do that?
I don't know if you. Oh. Oh, get back in here. Come on.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I got to remember that next time you piss me off. Okay, so.
Well, I want you to go on a rant here, but I know that you're too professional to go on a rant.
And I can't because I'm in the kitchen between these two trying to sleep.
I can go on a rant about this.
But what I told you, and I called it. What did I say last week? I said, why don't we just go ahead? Because Nick was going against for the Atlanta. And what did I say? Let's go ahead and give Kenny the world title. Give the Bucks. They already have the 6-man title. Go ahead and give them the tag titles. Go ahead and let the one Buck win the damn Atlantic, and they can all have a circle jerk and come in Tony Khan's mouth. I did say that.
Wow.
But to have the Bucks, because they had and Hook and Orange Cassidy was in that match too. But for the Bucks, the young Bucks, who are already they're the ROH 6-man tag team champions. They're greedy to once again put themselves in contention for the AEW tag team belts when there's other tag teams that deserve this. Pissed me off when I saw the results for that.
Can I go on a rant?
Yeah, you can. I can. And I got my headphones on so they can't hear you.
Okay. So I posted last night that I was really upset that, yes, They won that match at the pay-per-view to give them a guaranteed shot at the AEW Tag Team Championships. They also are the Ring of Honor Trios champions, which really doesn't mean bullshit. I don't care about the Ring of Honor titles, but it allows the Young Bucks to come down wearing a fucking pair of belts because they have to, because they've got to seem fucking relevant, right? On top of that, I posted this saying that the Young Bucks always need to seem relevant in the title picture. And somebody on our Facebook group sat there and said, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The Young Bucks are only two-time AEW Tag Team Champions." And I sat there and started looking it up. I want to let you know they are two-time AEW Tag Team Champions. They are two-time AEW Trios Champions. They are one-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion or Trios Champions during the 4 years that AEW has been around, which means they have 5 title reigns during the time that they have been executive vice presidents of a company. Now, same time, Kenny Omega has been a one-time AEW World Champion.
It's only once?
Yeah, Kenny Omega only once. It was a long term, but remember, he was the belt collector at that point. So he was also AAA World Champion. He was also TNA World Champion.
That might be where I thought he was more. Okay.
Correct. And that's also why Christian Cage is a 2-time Impact World Champion. Adam Page, Cowboy, he is a one-time World Champion and currently Ring of Honor Trios Champions. He was also Tag Team Champions with Kenny Omega. So he's had multiple championship reigns, but always with different partners, it seems.
But he's not an EVP.
But he is the one that's not an EVP. And if you look, who was the one that did not win at Wrestle Dream?
Hangman
Adam Page, where he got the shit kicked out of him by Swerve Strickland. So let me continue my point. The Young Bucks they flat out fucking need to continue to show relevance in the pro wrestling industry by being at least going after the tag team titles.
Not only that, remember when them and the Hardys have the Best Brothers tag team match to see who the best brother tag team was? Yeah. Who won that, Rob? So continue, sir.
I know Tino completely agrees with me on this. It's like the one thing that we are 100% in sync on. Like, we totally hate the young fucks. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, I will continue to call them the young fucks because here's the deal. They not only won a match that guarantees them a title match whenever they want it. I also want to remind everybody that when they got in trouble and had to not be a part of the tag team championship picture, the only time they have not been in the tag team picture, Mon Johnny, if you're watching our fucking show, I'm telling you right now, considering you said I was dumb for saying what I'm saying.
Really?
Something that we don't allow in our Facebook group. And yet I just wanted to sit there and say, hey, if you think what I'm saying is dumb and you're saying it out loud in a group that we don't actually allow saying that we're dumb, we allow people's opinions, what does that make you? Point set. Anyways, when they weren't allowed to go for the tag team championships, what did they do to the tag team championship division? Yes, Swerve and Keith Lee won the titles, right?
Then they gave it to the ass boys.
And then it was the Acclaim that finally won the belts.
Oh, was it FTR or they claim?
It was the Acclaim that won the belts from them. And then who did the Acclaimed have to feud with? The fucking ass boys. The fucking ass boys for like 4 months, who, by the way, yes, have finally gotten over, but got over as part of Bullet Club Gold, not when
On
they
their own.
were the World Tag Team Champions. So what did the young fucks do? They literally sat there, got in Tony Khan's ear about who needed to be running for the tag team championships, and probably had lower rated segments because a non-over team was sitting there winning the tag team championships and then defending the World Tag Team Championships until FTR signed their new contracts, finally won the belts, and immediately after they won the belts, who was their opponent?
Young Bucks.
What? No way! No way, man! Like, wait, are you telling me Young Bucks immediately after the best tag team in the world won the tag team titles, the Young Bucks were suddenly the ones going after those titles?
And then they didn't beat them though. They lost.
Oh, whoa. Did they go after those titles?
The Young Bucks?
Yes,
Didn't they? Wasn't they the ones after FTR came back?
they were. And yes,
Yeah.
they won. They won the opportunity. They ended up having 2 matches against them. Yes, FTR won. However, we saw this Sunday at Wrestle Dream, the Young Fucks ended up winning the opportunity to go after those titles whenever they want to, right? And this past Wednesday, Ray Fenix, who almost murdered John Moxley a couple weeks ago.
Oh, did you see the thing from Cornette I sent you where he got hurt? Moxley got hurt on the outside when he hit him in the face with his butt.
Dude, you got mad at me. I just want to remind you, you got mad at me of my opinion of that match. And
Well, I got mad at you. I don't know why I got mad at you.
Because you said that those pile drivers
went while he got hurt.
And it wasn't. And in fact,
see, if I'd have been there, I'd have been able to do this then.
but but Scott from our wrestling group, the other moderator in the wrestling group, sat there and said Moxley was concussed 5 minutes, like a minute and a half into the match.
Surprised he wasn't bleeding.
Well,
the wind wasn't blowing
because he couldn't go like this. He kept missing. But anyways, my point is that what was the match that opened up Dynamite this week?
We were just yeah, it was Felix, as Cornette kept calling him. But it was Ray Phoenix and Nick Jackson.
Ray Felix versus the Young Fuck.
Felix. Cornette was killing me with that. And then Felix did this.
And my favorite part about that was that he was like, so folks, if you haven't watched Jim Cornette's breakdown of that, there's like an 8-minute video on YouTube.
He is
a lot of time out of your life, but it is one of the best things that you can watch, where he's sitting there going, this match should have been stopped right here. And it was like 8 seconds into the match. And then he's like, and then they didn't do that. So they just let them go and let them do their whole thing. And the retarded referee.
Dude, I watched that thing 5 times and laughed every time.
So I want to point out that last night during the Ray Fenix versus the Young Fuck match,
I can't wait for the Cornette one on that one.
they went outside the ring, right? I went on to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
Twitter.
And 20 minutes into that match, I sat there and wrote, this match is still going on? Right? And people were sitting there commenting on my shit. Like, I'm like, why is this match still going? Like, this is a international championship. Like, what the fuck? Like, this match should be over at this point, right? But when they went outside the ring, they started doing the stuff where they were like the one guy was leaning over and the other guy like drops a leg drop on him. I counted. It was like 29 seconds. Okay? So even the slowest wrestling count in the fucking world would have counted to 10 by then, and the match would have been over as a fucking count out.
Mm.
And then they go to commercial, which of course they go, hey, we're going to picture in picture, because fucking AEW every goddamn time with their picture in picture.
Remind me about the picture in picture when you get finished this match, because something happened last night that made me absolutely fucking laugh. I popped it. You might know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if I do, because I was so mad about this one that I literally stopped watching the show.
Well, let me know. Let me real quick, then let me tell you. So there was one point in because now she's timeless. Tony Storm, right?
Oh, my favorite character on all. Oh, I have something that I want to say about how AEW went last night. Go ahead.
But my favorite part of that is where she had old girl out there and she knocked her out with the whatever, the butt bump. And right when she did it, and right when she did it, she looked at the camera and goes, now we need to go to the messages. She called for a commercial break and they went for picture in picture. It was perfect. You got to go back and watch that Tony Storm match. She goes, now we need a word from our lovely sponsors. And they went to picture in picture. And she's sitting on the bottom rope after she did the hip check, and she looks at the camera and says it. It's the timing of it was brilliant.
So Bully Ray, who does Busted Open After Dark, so he actually does it.
She's my favorite part of the show right now.
So he does it immediately after the show, right? So like as soon as Dynamite goes off the air, Bully Ray goes on to Sirius Satellite Radio and does a Busted Open episode. But after the first hour of Dynamite, he wrote, first hour of Dynamite in the books, what's everybody think so far? So I wrote back, and I should probably look up exactly what I wrote. But the basics of it was they really missed the boat by not having Edge just walk out to the ring and cut a promo immediately at the open of the show, which I thought, hold on. Because they had been talking about that on Busted Open. You don't watch the shows, you don't listen to the shows, so you don't think that that's what they. But having Metalingus turn on and then him walk out would have been big, right? Maybe not the biggest thing. They obviously decided to close the show with him. Whatever. Second thing I said,
I think that was smart. They had people keep watching.
Sure. Second thing I said was the completely worthless international at the beginning that took way too fucking long with one of the young fucks. And then I said the show didn't really get started till Tony Storm had her vignette. and I'm going to be honest with you. That entire first hour of Dynamite was garbage. Like, it was solid wrestling. Don't get me wrong. It was solid wrestling. It really was okay TV. But nothing happened that meant anything until Tony Storm had her vignette. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you just got a message for, but
Yeah, my father-in-law just called me. Sorry.
you
I
get
was,
to a new concert.
we're going to a concert. He got his concert tickets, but they're in February. Yeah, but that's not what that was.
I just watched a movie, by the way, that had Courtney Dance as the main character. It was called Heist 88 on Showtime. It was really good, dude. But it's basically about an old guy that sits there and talks these kids into like robbing a bank back
Oh
in
no.
88. Anyways, uh, but that's what I said about the first hour of Dynamite last night, because and specifically when they went to 2 commercial breaks for that first match, which again was a Young Fuck versus Ray Phoenix.
Yes.
I legitimately went to Twitter and wrote, "This match is still going on." And right after I sent that tweet, that's when Ray Phoenix got the win. And I immediately went, "Oh, guess not." Like I literally was like, "Why is this match taking so fucking long?" And so here's where I really want to talk about this, Tino. Should the Jackson brother have had an international title match? Why not? And thank you for saying that, by the way.
So many more deserving people need to do it. They need to quit writing themselves into championship matches because, and B, Greedy Ass just won the motherfucking tag team #1 contendership. Stop being greedy.
And this is 2 weeks in a row that they've done this shit, right? Like his brother didn't win the match last week. He didn't win the match this week. So I asked somebody today, and they were like, well, I think it's okay for them to lose this singles match. And I'm sitting there going, well, why the fuck with a roster of like 280 wrestlers are you not putting somebody else like AR Fox or fucking Nick Wayne or somebody the fuck else into that spot, right? Like, why isn't Miro in that spot when all along everybody's like, that dude should be a main fucking eventer? Well, guess what? Nope, that young fuck right there, who's not even that young at this point, and he's got that stupid fucking mustache that I just want to rip off his fucking face.
Damn, Rob.
Tell me I'm wrong, dude.
Damn, you just all kinds of pissed
Hey,
off about it.
I'm trying to make sure we get heat. That's what. But seriously, like, I was not happy, and I know that they're like, oh well, we wanted to make sure that we got the crowd roaring for the rest of the night.
Look what Chris Barrett just wrote.
Y'all here, I just signed with AEW, and I suggested that you two should be signed. Well, you know what? It'd be interesting because I guarantee I would have some CM Punk heat in the backstage area. By the way, Tino also would. He wouldn't have as much, but the young fucks would definitely sit
Oh,
and give him some shit. And they'd be like, so I heard you don't like us very much. And he'd be like, let me pull that fake fucking mustache off of you. And you see he just cut his camera off.
that's what I'd be like. I don't like you very much. No, I'm
Uh,
like, oh, I'm like, how are you talking to me with Tony's dick in your mouth?
Chris Barrett's like, oh, I would be there with you, Rob. The funny thing is Tino hates them more than I do.
I
Like,
hate them and Kenny Omega. Now they're trying to push Kenny Omega, teaming with Jericho, and hey, I'm Kenny Omega. You're still an ass bitch.
well, I want to talk about this move with you. This week, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho had a match. I don't remember who the match was with.
They
The
fought
Don,
again.
the Don Callis.
It was the dude from the skinny dude from Aussie Open because the bigger dude got hurt,
Right.
and Takeshita.
And at the end of the match, we got Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse.
Well, hold on. Can you do the face? No, he's got to go up even further, man.
I can't do it.
Just pull it up with your. There you go. Now you're Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
I just call him Willie.
And I got to be honest with you. Normally I wouldn't think this is a good move for Powerhouse Hobbs to be in this position, except Chris Jericho really has tried to do everything he can to put people into positions of elevation, right? And I really do think that even if Kenny Omega does everything he can to win these matches so that he can continue to look strong, Jericho will do everything he can to try to elevate them to the next level. Takeshita, whatever, even who's the guy that just came over that was part of the Golden Lovers?
I know you're talking to. I just closed the damn thing I was looking at, but I'll look it up again.
So my point here is pretty simple. I normally wouldn't like this move, like just randomly throwing Powerhouse Hobbs into this whole feud, except for the fact that out of all of the people that are now involved in this, he's the one.
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi, yeah. But Hobbs is the one that can get elevated out of it. Like, I truly think they can make him into a world championship style star.
Oh, hell yeah.
The problem I have with AEW is that you have 7 hours of or 6 hours of or 5 hours of TV.
So you got hold on. You got Dynamite, Rampage. Yeah, 5 hours.
5 hours. You have 5 hours of programming. And Eddie Kingston is your Ring of Honor World Champion, which means that you have literally, like, MJF and Eddie Kingston. There's a huge gap there. I'm sorry. I love Eddie Kingston. I think that he is one of the best mouthpieces that the wrestling world has ever had, but he is a poor man's Mick Foley at best.
He didn't do stunts like Mick Foley does.
No, you're right, which makes him even poorer.
I mean, why would you say he's a poor man Mick Foley then? I mean, how are you comparing him to Mick Foley?
Both good on the mic, but Mick was willing to put his body on the line, and Eddie Kingston's willing to just eat a cake.
I mean, Mick Foley wasn't exactly Bobby Lashley now.
No, but he was willing to be a Dolph Ziggler when it came to Bump Machine.
All right, but you're talking about eat a cake. I mean, Foley, Foley
ate his cake too. Don't get me wrong. He ate his cake, brother.
Even my hero, the Big Dust, would tell you that my booty's a little wide. You know what I'm saying? My you know. So yeah.
Dude, Mick Foley was the second generation Dusty Rhodes.
The Big Dusty Rhodes.
The Big Dust. Absolutely, baby. I tell you right now, I'm going to say that Mick Foley took over for me, baby. That's the way it was. And I believe that, except for the fact that when we look at Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston,
baby, spend the time in the catering, baby.
Yes. Now, granted,
he eat them pork and beans.
Did he earn a Ring of Honor World Championship? Yes. Except, here's the problem. Ring of Honor doesn't exist.
Yeah, that baby.
What?
Yeah, that baby. You
No.
got it. You got a ring. You got the ring on champion, and you got the ring on six
You
man
might want
champion.
to fix your tongue.
The ring about a thick. It's a six man. I got the
You might
list.
want to stop drinking whatever that is because I think it's called some
I got that Dusty Road list, baby.
hebida. Anyways, my point, and I'm serious about this, is that like look at Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe literally just wrestled MJF for the world title. But Samoa Joe has a belt on his shoulder.
Hmm.
What the fuck does that belt mean
It
right
means
now?
he's the TV champion, and he's the what's that other thing he calls himself? The king of TV.
The king of all media.
Yeah.
Except that belt means fucking nothing.
Hmm.
And in fact, the only reason why I'm willing to allow, like in my mind, the Young Bucks and Adam Page to be the trios champions of Ring of Honor is because I don't think Tony Khan is going to allow the Young Bucks to have an AEW tag team championship during the time that they already have a belt on their shoulder.
Oh, you know better than that.
I'm hoping to God.
You guys can have another one.
But that's what I mean, like seriously, like that's literally what I'm thinking there is that oh, just to shut them up, we'll give them this irrelevant title for with wrestlers that don't even work for our company.
No, no, that's not how that's going to work.
So they're gonna start collecting all the tag belts,
Hmm.
the belts and
They,
whatever.
they're going to be the belt collectors of the
I
tag
am
team division.
I want to tell you right now, the day that they have two title belts on their shoulders each, I am going to not watch AEW. At least the programs that they are listed to be on.
Well, once they beat FTR, be prepared not to watch it for a while, because you know that shit's coming, just like I do.
Actually, I'm hoping to God that they're waiting until FTR loses to then come out and say, we want these belts.
I don't think so. Remember, because they've lost twice to FTR. They've got to redeem themselves. They're winning those belts from FTR.
But is it going to be a redemption, or are they going to do the bullshit thing of FTR just beat a team in a really hard fought match, and now we're coming out and saying we want our match now?
They don't need to do that. They don't sell no. They don't sell fucking shit anyway. It's like what did Mick Foley what did Mick Foley say about Al Snow? That's why he can't work for Lazy Boy, because he doesn't sell chairs.
Because he doesn't sell chairs.
So no, they don't have to do that bullshit. It'd be a whole match.
Oh, I gotta break out the Calumet for that.
It's gonna fucking be, they're gonna try to hit him with what's their move? The shatter, not the shatter machine. That's them. The
That's FTR.
FTR's the shatter machine.
Yeah. The Young Bucks is the bullshit machine.
No. I thought the shatter machine was the OC. No, FTR is something else.
No, FTR. I thought it was the Shatter Machine, and I thought it was the magic something.
Or Dream Magic Kill or something. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't. Anyway, whatever move that
Well, the Young Bucks is just, hey, we'll just take everybody else's finishers.
But that's what I'm saying though. They're not going to sell the shatter machine. It's like, oh, no, get up, and then they're going to hit you with that fucking BTE bullshit.
Yeah, I'm saying the bullshit trigger engine.
The bitch tag ender. That's what. I got a new name for one of their finishers. They should call the shit the Brokeback Mountain. That's what they should call that shit.
They'd have to figure out how to do like a rock strong like backbreaker or something.
No, it'll start like this.
All right. That's probably wrong. We probably can't say anything like that. Speaking of backbreakers, I gotta ask you, Tino. Roderick Strong has been a pro wrestler for over 20 years. Is this the best Roderick Strong we've ever seen?
I have to say so. Did you watch Wednesday night? The emergency.
Fucking giraffe.
The emergency. What's the emergency? He said, first of all, I can't be the only one with wheels. And he gets this bitch a scooter. So it's a whole montage of them rolling around this house on scooters. And then the kingdom just sitting there with that damn giraffe. And so they said, okay, I got to go. I got to get surgery. He goes, no, wait. He said, well, what's the emergency? What you need me for? This bitch got a shattered ankle. Roddy goes, I need you help moving furniture.
I mean, Adam Cole literally goes, what the fuck are these other two guys doing? And they're just sitting there. It's like, well, they can't be the ones moving the furniture.
Oh, God, that whole thing was hilarious.
Is this... So Terrence was pointing out to me that this Roderick Strong character that we're seeing right now, we kind of got to see a little like nugget of it when he was part of Diamond Mine. And I kind of agree. I kind of remember that Roddy started like having some characterization, but nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, this one's more flushed out than that. I could see what he said that with the Diamond Line. Yeah, he did start just a little bit, but nothing like this.
He's doing right now because oh my God, he literally like
the fucking hot rod on the back of that wheelchair. It says hot rod.
Well, and the other two from the group sitting there just like stroking the giraffe, like Mike Bennett. It's the best he's ever been, and he's doing nothing. He's doing nothing.
Bennett and Taven are they're knocking it out the park too. So yeah.
I mean, the fact that TBS or AEW fucked up the presentation so bad that
they had to do it again.
That they had to ask for the approval to do it again.
The first time was great because when you couldn't really hear what they were, but you could hear the audience in attendance dying laughing. That was the best part. The second time almost wasn't as funny because
you know what it sounded like though? The whole thing sounded like they were underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience wasn't.
Yeah.
So you can hear the audience. and then I look on Twitter and Bully Ray sitting there going, be really nice if we could actually hear the audience or hear what's going on. And I'm like, oh shit. Like it's not just a bad connection on my TV. You know, like the world is seeing how bad this shit is.
But they corrected it though.
20 minutes later.
All right, we're half hour in, an hour and a half in. So what else we got that you want to talk about in this show Wednesday?
Not much. Main event, I do want to talk about. They went 9 minutes over, which unfortunately meant that my DVR cut it off, which we haven't even talked about WWE, but WWE had the same problem this week.
That's the one thing I miss about my DVR. I could set it to go 5, 10 minutes over. I can't do that with the YouTube TV, and it pisses me off. So if I'm not watching it, like at least some part live, thank God I was watching it, last night kind of live. So as it went off, I was able to see the rest of it.
So I didn't. However, I immediately looked on my TV, and YouTube had the rest of the segment, which was Adam Copeland coming out.
Two things I want to say about that. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know. You might have already heard or read. They've changed just a small change in his entrance music. The voice of that now it says instead of "You think you know me," it says "You think you know him,"
Yeah.
and it's none other than Mrs. Copeland's voice. So that's actually Beth Phoenix.
Is it?
Yeah,
So I hadn't heard anything about that.
it's Beth Phoenix.
There is a rumor that they're already trying to bring her in, with Adam being a full-time employee. I don't know if that's going to be the case. By the way, let's talk about that real quick.
But another thing though, when Kenny Omega was like, when you came out, it had me on the edge of my seats. I'm like, oh, that was corny. That was corny. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
First things first. The media scrum where Adam Copeland came out, sat down, actually talked about wanting to be a full-time AEW wrestler. I look at that and I find it really weird, considering I was always under the impression, I don't know how you feel about this, but I was always under the impression that Edge actually dictated that he had a Brock Lesnar style contract, which meant that his 11 matches a year or whatever were dictated by him.
And I think you probably still can because I think that the AEW schedule isn't as grueling as a WWE schedule.
Still 52 weeks a year, and he said, I'm full time. You know what I mean? And there you
Well,
go.
CM Punk was full time, and he wasn't on there all the time either. You know what I mean? I think you can still.
Well, CM Punk would have been on every program that they had if he got along with the young fucks. So
We'll see.
that's kind of how I feel with him. When it comes to Edge, I personally I think that Adam Copeland actually signed his contract, and I think that Tony Khan probably increased the offer to get Adam Copeland based on the fact that they knew they were firing CM Fuck. And pardon me, I just said CM Fuck. I like CM Punk. I always did. I think that as part of heels, I think that he actually increased.
Ricky Rabies.
Ricky Rabies was great on that show. But at the same time, Adam Copeland, I do think that when the opportunity came open and they said, can we get the rights to his music? Can we call him the Rated R superstar? Can we do this? Because I've told you in the past,
Well,
the reason why CM Punk actually increased numbers is because WWE fans knew the name, knew the music, and understood who he was. And that allowed them to sit there and go, oh shit, I liked this guy 7 years ago. I'm going to watch him now.
yeah. Well, so Manalingus, Adam Copeland's music wasn't owned by WWE. Those boys wrote that for Edge.
It's Alter Bridge. So yeah.
Alter Bridge. They wrote that for Edge. And I
Yeah.
think that the Rated R Superstar, I think, was his too. I don't think that was copyrighted for WWE.
Well, they probably allowed the copyright to expire because they just called him Edge because WWE wasn't doing anything rated R at that point. So I think that all came into play. I always joke that when Tony Khan was sitting there saying, we're going to go into a new era, I joke that they're just going into the Attitude Era because they literally have Sting, Christian, Edge, I mean, like, you could just keep naming off guys from the Attitude Era that they actually have now, and it really makes me feel that AEW in their peak performance level athletes, the people that are probably making the most money, are probably also the guys that were around back in the Attitude Era.
Did you see the TikTok I sent you? With they said that everybody that Randy Orton punted in the head is in the AEW now.
Wait, what now?
That TikTok I sent you about Randy Orton punting people in the head, and they're all in AEW now.
Yeah, after a good concussion, they're all in
Yeah.
AEW. Uh, I really want to get into WWE stuff. It's just that, like, there's so much AEW to unpack.
Well, we might not get to AEW tonight because we're rolling up on 2 hours almost. So it might be an AEW heavy show. I mean, it's cool with me.
No, let's just jump into WWE stuff because we need to. There was a lot that we need to unpack there too. Monday Night Raw, we ended up having Rhea Ripley finally come back and sit there and say that she was mad at the Judgment Day because Dom lost his title.
No, she was mad in general, and she was fussing at Damien because Finn was hurt, and she's fussing at Damien, and Damien's like, well, not to stir up anything, he goes, but I still got my belts, and I'm still senior money in the belts. He goes, where's Dom's belt? Like a little kid, where's Dom's belt? And Rhea goes, good point. And she said, tomorrow night you have a rematch. If you don't win the belt, don't come home. And right then I knew that um, Trick Williams was about to have the shortest NXT whatever championship reign,
I shortest, by the way. I think
North American championship reign.
I think when Damian Priest was actually part of NXT, remember the really skinny dude that had the North American Championship because he beat Johnny Gargano for it. I think that guy had the shortest reign with that belt. Um,
But I knew Trick Williams was
there,
about to
there,
lose
there
that belt.
is a rumor, and there is a statement going around that backstage that Dominic got into a fight backstage, and because of that, his punishment was losing that belt at that pay-per-view. And I don't know if you've read that, but it all goes back to when the Judgment Day was fighting Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes. And apparently Sami Zayn got like punched in the nose or something. It might have broken his nose or something like that. And because of that, they were like, you can't do that to one of our top guys. We don't care how over you are right now, because obviously Dom is probably the biggest heel in WWE. Like, whether you want him to be or not,
Yeah, he is.
he is. I mean, like they yes, they pump in the booze, but you cannot hear him on a microphone nowadays. Like, it is fucking amazing. So that's the rumor, is that because he popped somebody in the nose too hard or whatever, it caused them to say Trick Williams is winning this match. You'll win it back on Tuesday. Shut the fuck up. Just do your job, like that kind of thing. And he did, right. So, uh, and even with that, like, if you saw backstage this week on Monday Night Raw, Owens and Zayn were very upset that they're not the next in line to get the tag title match after Adam Pearce, who had a weird thing going on with his face. I don't know if you noticed that. Like a weird, like, it just looked like he had like something like. Anyways, he sat there and said that main event Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes would go after the Judgment Day's World Tag Team titles. Here's what I really want to point out about WWE programming. because I know you want to get off of here, and I think we can get out of here pretty quick when I say this. Next week, WWE and AEW have loaded up Tuesday night because AEW is doing Title Tuesday Dynamite.
And I think it's this weekend. So because of Fastlane, it's starting an hour earlier.
What is?
Collision starting at 7.
Well, I'm going to be
think
honest with you. Yes, it probably looks like it's actually involved with the WWE, and why they're doing it. I don't think that's actually the case when it comes to Collision. I think what it is when it comes to Collision is that Saturday Night Football is causing them to make different decisions. And it could also be the fact that NHL on TNT is probably showing a hockey game.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because the only reason I can think of as to why AEW is going on Tuesday next week is because the first night of the NHL season, which TNT and TBS have rights to, is Wednesday night.
Okay.
However, when we look at what WWE is doing to really ramp up NXT next week, John Cena is going to be in Carmelo Hayes' corner.
And Paul Heyman.
And Paul Heyman has asked the tribal chief to be in Braun Breaker's corner. Now, I've already told you, Tino, I truly think that as long as Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker are under contract with WWE, they are the next John Cena and Randy Orton. A long-term history where every so often they cross paths and it's just magic.
Or Rock and Austin.
Sure. And that's probably even a better rendition of it. However, obviously Austin was probably 10 years further along than The Rock ever was. And John Cena and Randy Orton really were like, they came up at the same time. They kept them apart for so long, then they would cross paths and they would, do that whole thing. And that's why I really think that it's the next John Cena and Randy Orton. I'm excited to see what goes on. At the same time, like, should we anticipate, because Paul Heyman's in his corner, that we get a Solo Sikoa a moment, or should we actually anticipate that Roman Reigns makes his return to NXT?
I think Trick gets involved somehow, and either Trick or Carmelo is going to turn full heel.
Somebody's got to, right?
And I think next Tuesday is going to be the night that either Trick or Carmelo turns full heel, and I think it's going to be Carmelo.
And so for everybody watching and everybody listening to us, like, it really is. I mean, we're talking about restacking the deck. AEW stacking the deck too. Like, we can't deny that. I mean, they're literally doing Ray Fenix versus John Moxley.
And that their Title Tuesday, is that them? They're doing Title Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. You have Saraya versus not Kairi Sane, but
I know you're talking about with the kendo stick.
Yeah, they've got that. They've got a tag team title match. I mean, like they are, both teams. It literally looks like they are doing WW versus WWF 1998, and the two of them are going, who's going to win the ratings? Now, here's what's funny about it. Tino, I'm going to ask you right now. Who do you think wins the ratings that night? Now, remember, AEW used to win when they were up against each other on a regular basis.
I think NXT is going to win because they're pulling in the star power. They got Cena and Heyman coming down. You know what I mean?
And
I
don't
think
forget that Becky Lynch is the NXT Women's Champion. So, I mean, that's 3 major names that you don't normally get on a Tuesday night.
I think that's why they will win the ratings war. I think now AEW will still put on a good show, but I think because you have the big names coming to NXT, people are going to tune in to see the names.
I think you're one.
Especially with Cody Rhodes coming. I think they're tuning in to see the names.
So here's something, and here's really the last thing that like I do want to talk a little bit about some other TV shows before we end, but the last thing I really want to say about this is that I truly think that when you think about it, WWE on Tuesday nights has really kind of packed their night, right? Like they get a certain fan base. The interesting thing is I don't think it's the regular WWE fan base. And the reason why I say that is this is because how often do we hear a day or two after a Monday Night Raw that somebody who was from NXT shows up and they're like, well, the ratings didn't really get touched by it because nobody from that watches NXT watches Raw or SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like, we hear that all the time. Now, granted, when Becky Lynch was announced to go against Tiffany Stratton on NXT television, it did impact NXT ratings. It did not impact Raw ratings. And part of that is because Monday Night Raw right now is getting hit with Monday Night Football. And that means that the ratings are going to go down because people watch football, is what it is. So next week, I don't even know what the normal ratings are for NXT, but you have said that you think that NXT wins.
Yes.
I agree. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that most likely NXT will maintain their standard audience, and due to John Cena and Paul Heyman, will gain audience. And AEW will almost be like, if I had to guess, will almost be like an episode of SmackDown that ended up being on FS1. Fair? Even though it is a fully backed up episode, has Edge's first match, has the title matches that we've already mentioned. Like, that's kind of what I'm anticipating. Now, last thing I want to say has nothing to do with wrestling, unless you have anything else you want to say about wrestling. Tonight, Loki's season premiere for season 2. As soon as I get off here, I'm probably going to watch it. But last week, Gen V launched.
Quantum Leap's back.
Quantum Leap ended up coming back last night. I need to watch that as well. But have you watched Gen V? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I just hadn't watched it yet.
Okay. I finally so I kept falling asleep because I was hammered when I was trying to watch it. I finally got through the first 3 episodes, and goddamn, dude, it's good. Like, if you like The Boys, you will absolutely love it.
Okay.
With that said, That's really all I got. I want to get you out of here before 2 hours.
Yeah, because I gotta be up at 6:30 in the a.m.
Well, I'm trying to do my due diligence.
All right. So you can check him out on the Twitter. He's at Podcheck. I'm HootieFan91. You can check the show out as Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. On the Instagram, I am SC Tino. He is Rob Potsy Podcheck. I think he is also Rob Podcheck. You got a couple on Instagram?
Yes.
You can check us out on each and every week. We're right here on the YouTubes, on the the Pots and Pan Network. We want to say, please, if you like what you see, like and subscribe, give us that thumbs up, and also buy our shit. We want to say thank you to the Adams House Cats for the wrestling song. You can get that on iTunes for 99 cents, 99.
My only question there, Tino, is how far out are we from our new entrance theme?
I don't know. You trying to sell me out and give it to somebody else?
I mean, it was Mikey Ruckus, dude, like the guy who does all of the music for AEW.
Okay.
I mean, there aren't many like if Jim Johnston wanted to do our music and he gave us a glass shattering and whatever, I'm not gonna turn him down, bro. Like that dude made 30 years of WWE music. You know what I mean? Like, but Mikey Ruckus literally sent me a message and asked if we wanted him to do our theme music.
I want to hear what he's got. That might be interesting. Just to see what he's got. I'll keep writing ours too. So we'll be use one different one each week.
Just get us one.
No, you are. Like I said, you out shopping. That's like me. If I want to write a comic book, I'm gonna find somebody else to do it.
I'll help you write a comic book.
I'll find I'll find somebody else to do it. I'll find somebody who works for Marvel.
Oh, will you?
Hey, you started it, bitch.
No, dude, he came to us. It wasn't the other way around. No, yeah, get off the stage. I see you. I see you. I don't see you, but I see you. Yeah. No, he came to us and said he was willing to do a theme song for us. Like, and he's obviously done one for our buddy Sean Cruz. So with that said, I will be at Fayetteville Comic Con next weekend. I will be here next Thursday.
Oh shit.
So we can do our show. But let's go ahead and rock it out. Everybody wants to be there.
Busy.